from Nashville, Tennessee, Inside the Noize podcast with your host, Jenna Heidman. Here's Jenna.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Inside the Noize. I'm your host, Jenna, and today we have Ben Schuller. Woo!
Yeah. Is that the part where there's like applause from someone?
just me every
you?
time.
Okay.
Woo!
Cool.
Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. The voice is a bit sore at the moment, but you know, we're gonna make it. I'm gonna get real close to the mic.
What caused the soreness?
Oh, not a lot of sleep, and I was at a wedding this past weekend, so there's festivities that you know.
Festivities.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we start each week off with a good week, bad week. So like, make some noise, stop that noise. So say something you want to make noise about, something you want to stop that noise.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Too?
Yeah. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, stop that noise. Here's my problem this week. Are you ready for it?
Get it to me. Let's go.
The air in my car chooses not to work every now and then.
Oh, that's not good.
And it's been like 90 degrees. So today I got lucky and it worked both times I drove it during the day. It didn't turn on when I was driving here. But the other day it was like 90 and it wouldn't turn on.
That's miserable.
And it just makes a funny noise and then it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's not good.
So that's my stop that noise.
Rough.
Definitely need to get that fixed. Don't know how to fix cars. So that's my stop that noise. I make some noise. This is also
This is also car related.
No, not at all. I started jump roping.
Like as a hobby or like just you were okay.
For 5 minutes a day every day.
Oh, all right.
So I just go out in the driveway.
Yeah.
You know, put my earphones in, and I just jump rope, and I usually do the first minute on both feet, and I'm gonna get really good at it. That's my goal. Like a cool jump roper.
So you're not doing it for exercise, you're doing it because you want to be like really good at jump roping.
And I need like a little like more cardio,
Okay.
so I
So
added a
literally
whole
both. All right.
5 minutes of my day.
It's 5 minutes more than I've got going right now. So.
See, but like I've done it, and it's honestly, I work out a lot, but I haven't been challenged by a workout. Like I get distracted easily and like think about other things I need to do. But when I'm jump roping, I literally can't think about anything else because I'm so bad at it right now. I had to fully concentrate on jumping over the rope.
Yeah.
But that's my like make some noise. Like I found a new hobby.
No,
Jump roping.
that's actually really cool.
Yeah, you'll see my Instagram soon. Like doing like what do you call it, double unders and like.
They have names for I guess they do. Yeah.
I started following a guy who jump ropes on
Yeah.
Instagram. So we'll see.
Are you gonna become like an Instagram jump roper?
I feel like there's space for that.
There probably is.
Like I don't feel like many people are doing that.
I think I might follow a jump roper on Instagram. She's got like a lot of followers, so maybe you could like get into that space.
Maybe I could do like a jump rope collab with her.
Yeah.
Be a
All right,
jump
I'll put a
rope-
word in.
Yeah. Slide in the DMs.
Yeah.
Let her know I'm out here practicing.
Yeah.
And we'll
She's
see.
really bad right now, but
Yeah, I won't record myself right
No.
now.
Okay.
It's bad. Like I think people probably laugh as they drive by and see me jump roping in the driveway too.
yeah.
Like we live in one of those like A-B houses, so like
Yeah.
right by each other.
Mhm.
And I'm sure the neighbors look out in the windows every night and are like, why is she jump roping?
You're like putting yourself out there though, like, you know.
Yeah, there's no other place to jump rope, so I do it in the front yard, and
Yeah.
it's fine. 5 minutes a day. All
That's
it takes.
good. That's really
If you
cool.
ever want to join, I have 2 jump ropes.
Yeah, I'm all right. But rain check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're make some
Okay,
noise.
mine.
Stop that noise.
Right. I mean, so I guess I was at a wedding this weekend. That's exciting. But yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, one of my best friends, Adam, he's actually the guy I moved down to Nashville with. So, you know, we've been through the ups and downs. We both came here for, you know, careers in music, and like we both are doing that. So it was really a cool moment to see him, you know. We essentially, she stole him away from me. Like we broke up because he, you know, went and lived with her instead of me. So it was sad, but at the same time, it was like, you know, it needed to happen eventually. We had to go our separate ways, and it's
So
gonna be
sad.
okay.
That's your make some noise and stop that
I
noise.
know, right? No, the stop the noise though is also for this weekend. So we were it was Traverse City, Michigan, which is like a small. I don't know if you know Michigan at all.
I've only been to Michigan once,
Okay,
and I went to the town near Frankenbooth.
it's Frankenmuth. It was close. Frankenbooth. I like that.
Well, we went up there. Strange little town.
Yeah,
Ate a lot of fudge
yeah. So
and fried chicken.
like you were in Frankenmuth with like all the German buildings and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah,
We
it's
stayed
super
like
cool.
25 minutes away, but each
Okay.
night we went there because
Gotcha.
it was more exciting
What were
than.
you there for?
I work warrior dashes sometimes.
Oh.
It's like the mud runs,
And
and
they
it's
had it up
really
there.
big in Michigan.
I do know a lot of people that do them up there. So.
See?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Traverse City, also a small little resort town. There's not a whole lot going on. They have one tiny little airport, not very many flights a day. So anyway, when I booked my trip there, I just like booked in and out of this airport because it would be convenient. I wouldn't have to worry about going to Detroit and driving up or anything. So my flight, for whatever reason, the only flight I could get was at 9 p.m. like Sunday night, the night after the wedding. So everyone in the wedding party's already gone. Everyone left that early that morning. So I got to figure out a whole day of things to do by myself. I went to the movies, went and saw Detective Pikachu. It was great. It was a great day. I had a great. This isn't the bad part. The day was fantastic. So I finally get to the airport around like 7:30, and my flight is delayed. And because it's this tiny little airport, that was the only flight, and it was delayed just long enough that I was gonna miss my connection in Chicago. So
you didn't even go to Chicago?
No. So I ended up, and like I tried to get them to like help me out. They're like, no, it's weather related, and we don't help you when that happens.
We don't help you.
You're on your own.
We want you to stay here.
Yeah, right. So I, had to find a hotel last minute. It just like, it wasn't the end of the world. It's not a big deal. It was just
How was
like,
the hotel like on a scale of 1 to 10?
It was okay. It had a really good view. It was like right on the bay. So like,
That's
but I
nice.
didn't get into it till it was dark anyways, and it was
Yeah.
cold. It was like 45 degrees. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it wasn't like I was gonna go chill on the beach or anything. And then I woke up and left for the airport again. So I didn't really, the hotel was just a place to sleep. I got in after the desk was already closed. It was one of those kind of like small hotels.
Yeah.
So like they stuck my key, they taped it to the door, and I like no one stole it, so that's good.
And no one was in your room when you got
No
there?
one was in my room when I got there.
I would have been so sketched out.
Yeah. I actually asked them on the phone. I was like, hey, so I'm not going to get there until after you guys are already closed. And like, yeah, but that happens a lot. Don't worry about it. We're just going to tape your key to like the front, like the door, but it's like hidden from the street view. So like, you're not going to see. It's like, you sure? Like no one, it's like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Man, someone's going to catch on to that.
I know.
Be hiding in
they're going to
people's
listen
rooms.
to this and they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go steal people's hotel rooms.
That'd be so scary.
Right? I just go in there and there's
someone like,
I don't even want to know. No clothes on, just like laying in the bed. I've been waiting for you. Run, just get out.
Oh no.
But yeah, so I guess that was a bummer. So I, didn't get back until a couple hours ago today, and yeah, not the end of the world, but it was annoying.
Yeah.
For sure. Not as annoying as having no air conditioning in my car, probably.
It's fine. Just need to get it fixed.
Yeah.
But then it sometimes works, and I'm like, thank you, Jesus. My
Yeah,
it works
yeah.
today. And then it's like, it doesn't work. But it's fine.
Yeah.
My car it's a piece.
It gets from A to B.
Yeah, it's all that matters,
Yeah.
Gets me there. And then if I have friends, I'm like, oops, guys, my air's out. Can't drive.
There you go.
You don't want to ride with me. Okay, cool. So let's get into you. Kind of tell me like when you moved to Nashville and like why you moved and your journey here from Michigan.
Yeah. So I've been here about 5 years now. I went to Central Michigan University. I studied like business and voice, and kind of like, knew I had to get out of there eventually. But I was always the kid recording music. Always like I was the one in 3rd grade, 4th grade who like had a quote unquote band, and like we would just a couple friends would come over and we'd record. It sounds like you stumbled on not that far back, luckily.
I saw some of the earlier ones.
There's one in particular that did you see Pancakes and Waffles? Did you
I didn't watch that one.
Okay, all right. Well,
but maybe I need to.
That was the first music video I ever did. Yeah, I think I was 11 or 12. Me and my friends, we wrote this song about exactly what it sounds like. It's about pancakes and waffles.
Was it the first song you ever wrote?
No, it was just the first one that. Thank God. I mean, because this one's bad. It's like compared to the stuff before it looks amazing. So I'm glad that was the first thing that's actually on the internet. But that was the first one that I ever made a music video for. Like I got a camera for Christmas, this like tiny little $100 like toy essentially. But we made a little music video out of it, and it's still on YouTube to this day. But yeah, so I was always doing that. I went to college and always got started on YouTube, and that was kind of like where I dipped my feet in. Was I was doing a lot of the YouTube covers and the kind of the days when acoustic covers were the big thing. Like that's when everyone was starting to do them.
How how'd you get into that, and like why'd you choose the YouTube?
Right. So I mean, it was kind of like this new thing. Like people were really just starting to do it, and I was seeing all these people on YouTube that didn't have record labels, didn't have anything. They were doing it themselves, and like they'd build up these huge followings, and it was just like something you could do from your bedroom in Michigan. Like I had no access to anything, but I, learned how to record myself so I could put stuff on the internet. And then, acoustic covers, honestly, it starts as just because people are searching for those songs. No one's searching for random originals from a kid named Ben in Michigan, but they're searching for, acoustic cover of Akon's song Beautiful or something like that, which was the first one I ever did. Was it? Yeah. I still play it at shows every once in a while. Yeah. I do the little rap section and everything. Like it's a good one. It's a good one. I don't know if you remember that song.
I don't
really.
This
is like 2007, 2008.
Okay, that probably is right when I first, like, growing up, I think I only listened to country music until about 6th or 7th grade, and like sports started becoming a thing. Mm-hmm. And like then there was like, from a really small town, so it was only country on the radio.
Gotcha.
And there's all of a sudden like there's different music. Right. There's more out there.
Right. Yeah, I think I started kind of like that because my mom listened to country on the way to school every day, and I never knew any other music. So actually, like what got me into writing stuff was when she gave me a Backstreet Boys cassette tape, like for Christmas one year. And so Backstreet Boys were the greatest thing in the world to me then, because it was like, what is this music? And like, yeah, so Backstreet Boys, shout out.
Do you have a favorite?
Of the songs or of the Backstreet Boys?
Backstreet Boys.
So,
the boys.
So this is way more than I should probably admit, but yeah, like me and these same kids from school, we all had our own that we were, and like we in the car on the way home from school, like my mom gave a couple of different kids rides home, and like we would sing the songs, and we knew which parts was each person. So I was Aaron.
Okay.
Yep. That was my dude.
Oh no.
Yep. Good times. I don't even know. I was getting to some kind of point. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I was in college and just started doing the YouTube thing. Kind of started playing a lot of shows, became known as the guy on campus, I guess, that played every single sororities, fundraiser, and pancake breakfast, and like basically I was playing 2-3 shows a week, all, just random, not unpaid things, just getting my chops, I guess. And then graduated and knew I needed to get somewhere else. My good friend Adam, mentioned earlier, congrats Adam and Dana on the wedding.
Aww.
I know, right? They're adorable. It's beautiful, beautiful wedding. He wanted to move down and become a guitar tech, and so like he had actually just done like a guitar building school up in Michigan, and so we were like, all right, let's move somewhere. Nashville was a lot closer than LA was, so we were like, let's give it a shot. It's a lot easier to come down with somebody for sure.
Right.
Like I definitely having somebody to lean on, like as a roommate, would made it a lot easier. So yeah, I got here about 5 years ago.
Did you guys move down and like find different jobs like outside the industry first?
Oh yeah.
Like what kind of odd and end jobs have you done since you moved here?
Oh man, so my first one, I totally fell into that marketing job scam where it's like you think that like, oh yeah, I just went to college, so like a marketing job, this sounds promising, and it turned out to be like selling curling irons at Sam's Club, like the people that have to stand at those kiosks and just annoy the swear on here. Annoy the crap out of everyone.
We swear a lot.
All right, we're good. Yeah, so I was one of those people, and I like honestly I hated knee when I was doing it. I couldn't imagine what
Did you sell a knee?
Like 1 or 2. They didn't even let me do it by myself. Like the first couple of weeks you do it with another person.
Did you like try it out on your own hair?
I had to pretend I knew what I was doing on this mannequin. I had no idea. They didn't. It's not like they trained us on the products.
They like threw you out there.
Yeah, because like it wasn't a curling iron company. It was a company hired to market things, and one of the thing we were doing that week just happened to be curling irons. And so I was supposed to, oh yeah, and like we had a script. You don't ask yes or no questions. You just because you don't want them to say no and be able to walk away. You always have a rebuttal to whatever they say. And,
I would be so bad at that. I would let them walk. I'd be like, run.
Yeah, and I apologize for the people, that have done that and they enjoy it and they can do it. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It definitely was not for me. I straight up quit after like 4 days. And it was like, I haven't been here long enough to feel like I needed 2 weeks notice. I'm sorry. Like it was all on commission, and
you weren't selling anything.
I weren't selling anything, but it was also like you had to be there for 3 hours at the beginning of the day for like meetings, like team workshops that you weren't getting paid for.
Oh, that's not that.
And so I was working like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it was just done. Like it was soul crushing work. So yeah, that was my first Nashville job. And Adam, I think, got a job at Guitar Center, which, you know, led to him.
Fitting, yeah.
Yeah, and he honestly, I'm in awe of the way he worked his way up the ladder. Like 3 years later, after like just stepping stone jobs in the guitar world, he was a tech for Lee Bryce, just like exactly what he set out to do when he moved down here. And it was like a couple years after he did, he's like, oh, I guess I did it.
Here I am.
Yeah, and it's funny, like now he's actually off the road because I think just wants, I don't know, he just got married, wants to spend time doing that, but he's like pursuing other things now. It's like, oh, I came down here to do that, I did it.
Like now what?
Now what?
Yeah.
So, but I did that, and I worked at Red Lobster. Shout out to Red Lobster. In Nashville for 2 years. Yeah, I think it was about 2 years, and so that was like my main day job, I guess, while I was, you know, getting to a point where I could, you know, support myself on music. And I got nothing but good things to say about Red Lobster. I love it.
I've never been to Red Lobster ever.
People hate on it because, you know, it's the trendy thing to do now, to hate on those kind of Olive Gardens and Red Lobsters, but
people secretly love them all.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really even eat there before I worked there, but man, they got those biscuits, like.
Do you ever go back?
Yeah, no one will ever go with me. But,
I'm the sad guy sitting alone.
I know, right? I'll be the guy that goes to the bar at Red Lobster. I don't know. I've probably been there a couple times a year since I quit. But yeah, it's sometimes I'm just like, I'm craving some salmon New Orleans right now, and it's like there's like specific things that I would always get there. So.
Cool. But okay, so you quit your jobs and you make this YouTube your main business.
Yeah, and so essentially, like, pretty much what happened was about a year after I moved here, my, you know, YouTube channel, and like at the same time, obviously, I'm, you know, recording original music, and that's like what I'm focusing on. But then this YouTube cover thing just kind of takes off. Like a couple of my videos start doing really well, and I started to see like, whoa, there's actually like, you know, money coming from this. Like I didn't know you could put covers on iTunes or Spotify. To me, it was like, oh, I don't own these songs. They're just like, you know, for whatever YouTube little thing. But then like once I learned that you can, you know, license these out and like you can actually, you know, support yourself. And as I was growing, you know, following for it, I was able, you know, make more and more, so I didn't have to work at the restaurant anymore, I guess.
Yeah. How'd you kind of turn that into more of a business? Or how'd you learn to turn it into a business?
Sure. Like, I mean, yeah, YouTube is a weird thing. Like, I guess at this point, since it's such a big part of what I do, that, like, you kind of learn the ins and outs of it. But there's definitely a lot of, like, structure to how you have to, like, you know, keep your engagement up, and you have to, you know, be posting the right things, get on a certain schedule and stuff. And yeah, it's definitely different. Like, it's definitely takes some time to learn. Like, you can't just, you know, post a video and think like, oh, I'm doing it. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, obviously, you got to start somewhere. But
is that kind of like where you started, though? You were kind of just like posting videos,
oh, for sure.
and you're just like, oh, I'm doing it.
I probably had 50 videos on YouTube before any of them got, you know, any views. And it's like, it's and there are people, I'm sure, that post one video and they go viral, and it's, you know, the rest is history. But yeah, that was kind of how I guess I transitioned. Like, you know, shout out to making covers on YouTube, I guess, for helping me get out of the serving industry and turned into, I guess, what I'm doing now. So
yeah, how much prep do you put into each video?
At the beginning, they were all really simple. It was all very much like, I'm in my room, I got my piano, and like I got my webcam, and I just like press play, and they'd all just be that. But now, like that, I feel like you try to engage the people more, I guess. And so now, Adam's going to be in this podcast all day. Yeah, he films most of my videos now. That's like what he's pursuing after getting off the road.
Okay.
And so like we're always just trying to come up with different creative ways to do videos. Like we'll do a lot of, you know, the one take videos where we're like the camera's doing kind of some creative stuff, and the set changes like throughout, and just trying to, I don't know, think of random stuff to, and yeah, as you learn a lot of video production stuff that I never set out to be a video guy, but you kind of,
but you know a lot of it now,
right? Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah,
it turns into a big part of the job, I guess, is you kind of have to be a jack of all trades.
Okay, so like, how many videos do you put out a month or a week?
So at this point, so I have my own like YouTube channel that's where I post, you know, obviously my original songs, my covers. I try to do one a week there. It doesn't always happen. I have this other channel called Nerd Out, which is a totally different story, but I started that a couple of years ago. Yeah, I guess I don't know how much digging you did on.
I saw some of those videos, but I wasn't sure.
Right, it's a totally
the distinction between.
Yeah, so that's like this group that a totally different world that I didn't know existed, but it's essentially we make music on like pop culture and just like nerd related things, like, you know, Game of Thrones. We just made a big song about Game of Thrones, like the new Avengers movie, like that kind of stuff. Like TV shows. And
so you are up with pop culture.
Yeah, but like a lot of it, I'm not like I don't watch Game of Thrones. I never have. But
yeah,
when
I
like,
haven't either.
So like when we're making a song, it's essentially like thinking of like a soundtrack. Like, you know, you hire Imagine Dragons to make the soundtrack like theme song for a movie. Like we do that without actually getting hired by the people. Like we just do it. And there's a huge like following for that, like that I didn't realize existed. And so that like that kind of blew up a couple years ago to the point where that's like where most of the people who find me on the internet come from, is this thing called Nerd Out. And it's it's this weird thing. And we put out one video a week for that too. So it's like between my channel, that, and like also recording my own like album stuff, it's definitely busy.
Yeah.
Definitely keeping
you're
busy
doing it
for
all.
sure. Yeah.
That's a lot to do.
Yeah. I got like got the home studio, so that's where I spend a lot of my time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So you got your YouTube following, but that's it looks like it's transitioned over to Instagram too.
Right.
So do you have like a method to your Instagram? Like, I know it's like something that a lot of people ask about, like your stories and your posting. Like,
sure. Yeah, that was definitely another. You know, you just learn. Like I didn't at all at first, and I was terrible with it. But then, kind of, you know, I got a certain schedule, and they all, you know, they go together. You post a video on YouTube, you can post it on Instagram at the same time. Like it's, you know, you make it for both. But yeah, I try to do, like I said, a video every week. And since Instagram's all about, you know, 1 minute everything, I split them up. So I'll, like, you know, post part 1 of the song on a Saturday, and then 3 weeks later I'll post part 2. I kind of get a schedule down, so like there's always content, because Instagram's worse than YouTube in the sense that like you gotta be engaging.
You post every day?
I try to, probably like 4 or 5, probably 5 times a week, I'd say on average.
Okay.
And it's like you try to, I don't know, if you post like when I post like an original single, I usually don't post the day before, because I'm trying to, like, you know, make sure by not overflowing people with stuff before something I really want them to see comes out. But yeah, you definitely, like, even this past weekend when I'm at this wedding, like I had to post a song on Friday that came out while I was like super hungover from the bachelor party. Like we end up staying up till like 6 a.m, and the wedding is at, or no, the rehearsal. It wasn't the day before the wedding.
I was like,
no,
good Lord.
No. Day before the rehearsal. So the rehearsal dinner was that night, and we had to be there at like 5. And so everyone else like got back to our places, like our Airbnbs, and they all took a nap from noon to like 4. And I had to work. And like I had brought my laptop and stuff. It's like I can't get away from it. But
do you have anyone to help you, or are you doing everything mostly by yourself still?
So the Nerd Out thing is, it's a band with 2 other guys. One of them is a rapper from South Carolina. He's amazing. I know, right? It's totally.
I don't listen to. We had a rapper on the podcast, shout out AJ, and I was like, I'm not hip to this rap scene.
You wouldn't expect. I mean, you've listened to like obviously my piano soft stuff. You wouldn't expect me to be in a music group with a rapper.
No. Yeah, like it's really funny. I feel like
we. So we just put out a song this past weekend, which is one of the things I had to work on this trip. That was like themed, inspired by the new Avengers movie, like this big, you know, spectacle of a movie that's breaking all these records and stuff. So we made this huge song featuring a bunch of different people, and it's like I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. Like, we don't necessarily sound exactly like anyone out right now, but it's kind of like that Linkin Park rap and rock back and forth, but it's definitely more modern than that. And he sounds like an old school, like Dr. Dre kind of rapper. Like he's
okay.
Yeah, he like comes from that background. He was like on tour with 50 Cent or something at one point. Like he had his time where he was in that scene, and so it's a weird mixture of sounds, because we're very different people, like 100%. But we make these songs that somehow work. And
do you guys get together? You guys all do like remotely?
Yeah, so it's mostly remotely, because this guy lives in North Carolina, and the other guy who kind of like he's the resident nerd. He doesn't actually make the music, but he like knows everything about all this stuff. Like he knows like, you know, what's trending, what's gonna be the big topics.
So he's not musically talented,
no.
but he's the nerd behind it.
Yeah.
I like him.
And that's not to say, you know, we're not nerds too. We all got nerds in us for sure. But yeah, he's like, he goes to a lot like the events for us. You can almost say he's like the marketing side of it too, because like there's all these, you know, huge conventions like VidCon and all these things for like YouTubers all over the world, and he's traveling, I don't know, 15 different trips a year probably to all these other countries, and he lives in England actually, so we're all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we meet up 3 or 4 times a year probably, like shoot a music video or like do an event. Like it took me to Egypt a couple months ago, that like this random like conference festival thing out there where they wanted to bring us over to perform at. So it was crazy because they think you're just this crazy celebrity.
Yeah.
Like I'm here and I'm just one of a million musicians in Nashville. But
right. How did you like take that?
I mean,
how did it feel, or how did you react?
I'm not gonna lie, it was cool. Like it was really fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it was really
with
cool.
like all these kids like coming up to you and they want like your autograph, they want a picture with you, and like they're like playing our songs over the loudspeakers like as we're walking in. Like it was like they were already listening to it before we were there. Like these people knew who we were, but like that's not, you know, that would never happen here, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're not that famous or anything. So it was surreal.
Nice, yeah.
But it was kind of like, I don't know, that first time you feel like, oh damn, like this is cool. Like,
yeah. That's kind of cool. So you don't have to live in that every day.
Sure.
You still got
right.
you get to like stay humble and normal here.
Right. You know, that was definitely the first time. I think part of it might be that like not very many like, I don't know, I would use the word celebrity very loosely because, you know, we're just these people that make music on YouTube, but like they don't get a lot of people from America coming over to do that kind of stuff. So to them, it's a bigger deal. But the trip was also awesome. I've never been to Egypt. I got to see all the pyramids and everything, and it was really cool. So the fact that this random YouTube channel that I never would have had any idea about 4 years ago is taking me to places like that is awesome.
Now, did they see you out for that, or did you?
Yeah, so
like,
that
were you kind of sketched out when you got reached out for? Because I here's for me, if I was like, oh, this guy from Egypt wants me to collab with this guy in South Carolina who's a rapper.
The first guy's not from Egypt. We got mixed up. He's from England. Egypt was just where the festival was. Fair.
We got this foreign guy asking me to do this. I'd be like, I'm getting scammed.
No,
that's how I would feel.
It wasn't like that, but it was definitely. It was weird. Like I said no a couple times. It was like they just found a couple of YouTube covers I had that were like. It started out the very, very humble beginnings where it was like this. The England guy would write these lyrics that were kind of like funny parody lyrics based on like pop songs, based on big songs. And so the first one was, it was a parody to Hello by Adele. And he like just, you know, wrote it, but he's not a singer. And he reached out to me and was like, hey man, like I really like your stuff. I'm trying to start this channel called Nerd Out. This is what we're going to do. And it's like, would you want to sing this song? And I was like, how much you gonna pay me? Like,
yeah.
And so like, I think I asked for like a percentage of it because I didn't know if this was gonna be a thing. Like I was like,
that's smart.
So I was like, can I get 20% or something of what this song earns over the lifetime, I guess. And then it blew up. I had no idea. Like it was so weird. I mean, like props to this dude for writing this song. His name's Jack. He's like, you know, the guy, he's this YouTube savant, it seems like. He just knows what to do at the right times, and it's definitely is the reason we've gotten a lot of places we have. And this song took off, and I was like, whoa, maybe this is something I should, you know, be a part of. And so like I sang a couple more things for them. A couple months later it was like, hey, what if I came on full time and just like, you know, was a part of it. And then it's been pretty much just 3 equal members since then. And yeah, but it was very weird at first. I didn't know this existed on the internet. But.
Yeah, I would feel, and like are your parents hip, or like you tell your parents you're doing this and they're like, what are you actually doing?
Right. So the thing is like them, yes, my little brothers were all up on it. They knew everything. Oh, yeah. Like to them, they're like, we'll do, you know, events or whatever, songs with like these people who are big in the nerd side of YouTube. and people that like my little brothers have been following for years, kind of thing.
That's interesting.
And
I don't follow anyone on YouTube.
Yeah,
really.
it's a different culture, and it isn't as big in Nashville for sure. Like it's
bigger.
It's bigger. Yeah, probably out in LA.
Yeah.
Nashville is much the music industry here is much more traditional for sure. Not that there isn't. I mean, there are plenty of people who are doing the internet side here too, and I work with a lot of them, a lot of talented people that do that here. But yeah, it's weird. Like you tell them like, oh yeah, I got a song coming up with like Ninja this week, and my parents are like, oh cool, and like my little brother Nick's like, what? Like, are you like you talk? Are you in his DMs? Like you can talk? Like, I mean, yeah, I guess. Like I could. I'm not gonna shoot a message for you, but like I technically could. So like yeah,
that's cool that they're like into it too.
Yeah,
and like are excited about it.
Right. Yeah. So it's definitely it skews a little bit younger for the crowd for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
so you have all these like little fans.
Yeah, like they're mostly like between the ages of I don't know 13 and 16, 17 probably. Which I mean I guess you could say is common for pop music anyways. But
yeah.
There's not as like it didn't seem like something that my friends were into growing up. I mean, because YouTube wasn't a thing as much back then either. So that's probably why these kids grow up with that, and that becomes part of their lives.
How would someone collab with you if they wanted to do a collaboration, or how do you go about picking your collaborations?
Sure.
Like if I was like, "Yo," do you want to
right? I'd be like, maybe. No, I mean. I
just want to jump rope in the background.
That is exactly what I've been looking for, actually.
Just casually.
I've been doing a decent amount of like duets, like covers, like recently with different girl singers around town, and I guess I would say like I just like find people online that I think would work well with my sound.
You just slide in the DMs?
Slide in the DMs, yeah. I'm just like, yo, you want to make a song? Or, like a couple of them I met from like other places, like yeah, just like I met in Nashville at some point and just like wanted to work with them, I guess. But I mean, because of it is like something I'm doing every week, and I'm always doing stuff. Like there are a lot of people who will be like, oh, let's make a collab sometime, and I'll be like, yeah, that'd be really fun, but like I legitimately don't know how I'm gonna fit that into like any of this that I'm doing. So like I don't do it as much, I guess, because they take a lot more time, and it's so yeah. To answer your question, I guess I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, if you want to collab, slide in the DMs and I'll make it happen.
Gonna respond.
Yeah, the DMs aren't really open for that at the moment, I guess.
Do you respond to most of your DMs?
I try to. Except like the really weird ones, which, I mean, like they're not like weird on purpose. Most of them are just like English isn't their first language. So they don't understand like barriers that are like things that are weird for someone to say.
Yeah.
But like, no, I mean, I try to go through the folder every once in a while, every couple days, and just say thanks for listening and stuff like. Just, yeah, trying to be active on there, I guess.
Is Instagram your favorite social media?
It's definitely the one that I've invested the most time into.
Yeah.
I think because it's like, it's more video and picture based, like it's good for someone like me who does a lot of videos.
Right.
And so as opposed to Twitter where it's all like,
characters,
man, I can't think of, 10 witty things to say in a day. Like, sometimes I sit like I get like a funny thought and like I think about tweeting it and I'm like, does anyone really care? Yeah, I don't know. I'm like self-conscious about tweeting sometimes, I think.
My little sister tweets funny things all the time.
Yeah. But like how many things does she tweet that aren't funny that like are mixed in? These are the things I worry about.
Critic.
I know. No, I'm reflecting on myself. This is how I think myself.
They're mostly all funny.
All right, well maybe she's
but
just
she very sparingly tweets.
Okay.
So it's like,
oh, then that's okay. Yeah.
Just every now and then there's a good little
right
tweet in there from her.
Yeah. No, I don't think I could be one of those people that is always like commenting, like if they're like live tweeting a TV show or something. Like
I was before you got here. I was just like scrolling through the live tweets from The Bachelorette tonight. There were some good ones. I respect
people that do it, and I appreciate them because I like doing it too. Yeah.
I wish I was. I think I'm funny. I laugh all the time. And people are like, no, not funny.
Yeah, right. I'm just like, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna stick with the videos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think Facebook is just becoming less and less where the kids are going like these days. Like I don't know,
Kids.
like a 21-year-old brother like doesn't go on Facebook. He's like, none of my friends use Facebook, and it's like, well, shit. Like that's kind of like a big audience for pop music, is that 18 to 21-year-old range. Like those are the people that are deciding what's cool, kind of like a lot of times. So
when do you think you're gonna grow out of this being cool for you to do? Like, do you think you're ever gonna be uncool doing this?
Right, I probably already am.
Like, do you see that happening?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
sorry to ask you.
No,
Were thinking about that.
Sure. It's always about adapting with you know,
Yeah.
the times. Like, I mean, you don't set out to be making things that are necessarily cool. You're just kind of like trying to make stuff that you'd want to listen to, stuff that you think other people would want to listen to. So, I mean, yeah, it's like my music has changed over the past 10 years, like as time changes and trends change and stuff, especially being in pop music. Like I have my sound for sure, but like, I don't know, there's different ways of going about things that I would have never thought of 5 years ago. It's kind of like adapt or die, essentially.
Yeah.
That's, kind of how the internet works, I suppose. But I don't know, they didn't have podcasts, like 10 years ago. So
They didn't.
Yeah. Taking
Now they have
advantage
a
of
cool
it
thing.
They are.
They are
And here
so
we are.
Cool. I do love podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts during my work hours. Just sit there, turn one on. Catches me up on everything I need to know.
I listen to this one every day.
On repeat.
Over and over. We've got my favorite episodes.
You should. There's some really good ones.
Yeah.
There's some really bad ones too.
No, I definitely was listening to a few, like, to kind of know what to expect for this, and I was into it. I was into it for sure.
Into it.
Yeah.
We haven't had we do mostly do country.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Texas country, so we do a lot of the Texas scene guys.
Is that where you're from?
No, I'm from Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Everyone asks.
You seem like you might be from Texas.
Nope,
I don't know.
I'm just from Illinois.
Fair enough.
But, I just really like Texas. It's fine.
Hey, there you go. You're in the right town. Well,
Not
besides
really.
being in Texas, I guess.
It's fine. I really got into the rodeo this year too, but that's another day.
I think I heard you say that on the podcast. I was listening on the way here.
Shout out to the rodeo girls I worked with. They listen to the podcast sometimes.
Yeah.
And they'll text me like, haha, I heard you talking about the rodeo.
Yeah.
I remember that night. And I'm like, aw. But yeah.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So we talked all about your YouTube and your cover. You got some of your own music.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Yeah. So I've all those things aside, you want to be an artist first and foremost. That's like what, my first priority always has been. And I feel like the covers and stuff and like Nerd Out have been great for, introducing people that wouldn't have listened to my original music otherwise. So I've kind of, built up a following for that as well. But yeah, it's very pop. It's so my whole thing is I'm a producer too. So like I want to be almost like, Calvin Harris and Kygo, or like, they're a producer and they have a featured singer. And it's like I want to be both of that. I want to be the producer and the singer, and that's kind of like my thing, I guess. And so most of my music is very got an EDM flavor to it. It's got a lot of drops and a lot of those kind of sounds.
Drops.
Yes. Yeah, not a country term, I suppose. But yeah, so that's kind of like where I get my inspiration from, I guess, for my original music. And recently I've kind of like married the two worlds of like my acoustic covers that I've done. I'm doing like an acoustic album, which is essentially piano vocal, like super stripped down versions of all the songs that I put out on my album last year. So I'm in the process of recording that right now, and this is, I guess, another one of those adapt or die kind of things. And not obviously you can do it whatever way you want, but I'm releasing them all as singles. So I'm doing like one single every 3 weeks until all 7 of the songs will be out, and then
it comes out as a package deal.
Right. And honestly, it's like I found that the songs have been reaching a lot more people that way, because I'm able to like dedicate, a lot more attention to each one. I can kind of explain each song, like I'll explain like what they mean and stuff, and like what the inspiration was behind them. And as opposed to when the album came out initially, like it's just all these songs right away. People might listen to, if they're not a hardcore fan, they might listen to 1 or 2.
It's hard to consume that much.
Right, yeah. So it's almost becoming, in the pop world at least. I don't know if country is totally going this way yet, but in the pop world, it's definitely, a lot of people are starting to take this singles approach.
Route.
And
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give that a shot for a little bit and see, I don't know, see how I feel about it. But because I've never done it before. I've always been, lead single, then the album. And so it's big 180 for me. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Are they on all platforms, or do you concentrate on just one? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, got to get it, I guess, spread it out everywhere you can. But Spotify's probably where I pay attention to the most, just because it's been great for discovery. Like a lot of people.
I find everyone new on Spotify.
Right.
It just caters to me. It like hands them to me.
No, exactly.
Who I'd like.
Discover Weekly and like Release Radar and stuff, and like I've had so many people that have discovered me through there, and it's been like this great thing. And obviously, you've got a million other streaming platforms and everything out there too, and people are discovering on there as well. But Spotify seems like that one that, I don't know, has been doing as well for me as far. But
do you do any videos on Spotify?
No, I haven't.
I think you should start.
I know.
I think that should be your next venture.
Right?
I think they're shifting and putting a lot of focus on video in the next year or two.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
So if I take anything away from this,
I think I'm giving you the tip that you need to start doing videos on Spotify.
All right. I'm gonna look into it. I've thought about it. I started doing a little their. They do those. What do they call them? Where it's not a video, but it's like when you play the song,
it's
it
on
shows
the back.
like a loop. Yeah, it's like that little loop behind
you have
it.
That? That's neat.
Yeah, so I've done that for a few songs. That's kind of cool.
How do you do that? We'll talk after.
Sure. Yeah, I don't actually know how to do the music video thing on Spotify.
The loop?
No, that's the thing I have done. The loop thing, but that's not like an actual.
I'm really into the loop.
Yeah, that's the only one I know how to do. But I don't know if
I think it's applicable for podcasts.
Oh, right. I don't know. Like if you could have the video of your podcast like on Spotify while it was playing, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Or
yeah, that would be
just a loop of me.
Just a loop of you.
Just
right?
me.
Right. No, that's literally what it'd be. Is you going like this?
Yep.
That'll
Pretty
be like
much.
the screenshot that you take. Is this?
Just me going like this. People be like, okay, next.
No, that's what hooks them in. Yeah. I mean, because people like post podcasts on YouTube.
It can be
and stuff.
the guest each time doing like a weird dance.
That'll be. So that was mine. That's great. All right.
Just in the background each podcast. I like where this is going.
All right. We're coming up
Like
with all
something
kinds of
really
ideas.
weird, like them eating like tacos. Or just like something really
Sipping their Baja Burrito cups. Shout out to Baja Burrito because they're on the way here. I'm there way too much.
I'm gonna have to try it out now.
I can't believe you haven't been there yet. It's
and I go by it a lot.
best restaurant in Nashville. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it right now.
Hands down.
Baja Burrito, sponsor me.
I'll try it out. I'll tell them. I'll be like, this guy Ben sent me.
They'll be like, oh, that dude, he never leaves us alone.
He's always here. Okay, let's give me like the background on one of your original songs.
Yeah. So the first single. So this album, I really tried to like give every song like a specific like story of something that I was thinking at that time. Like they're not all like just. I didn't sit down in a room with someone and just like write whatever came to my head. Like I didn't do a lot of co-writing for this album. It was mostly like I came up with concepts over time, I guess, and tried to put them together. So the first one I think we're gonna play is called Stadiums, and so this one is kind of like, I can talk about for a second. I don't even know. Yeah, right. I'm like the guy who's not here with a guitar because my voice is dead and my songs aren't guitar anyway. But
awkward.
But so like little backstory of it, I guess, is I wrote it from like the eyes of like a kid growing up in like this society that romanticizes the like addiction and depression of their celebrity heroes. Like they listen to the radio and they hear how cool it sounds when these singers talk about being hooked on drugs or being depressed or like thinking about suicide and stuff, and like real things that like people should absolutely be making songs about. But I think the way that society has almost glorified it and like made it seem cool to a sense that like there are a lot of kids growing up that I feel like, I don't know, because these are things that I thought, I guess, like listening to music a lot of times as like a teenager, that like, oh, if I was like more edgy and did this kind of stuff, like this would be like way cooler. So like the concept of the song is like these kids want to live like the radio. So it's called Stadiums.
I wanna know what you're waiting for. These bottles are cold and there's a spot left on the floor. My clothes are off and there's a hole inside my heart. It feels so good, I wanna know what you're waiting for. I wanna know where it all went wrong. We're following pictures and the stories we made up. Let's jump together, feel the rush up through our bones. It feels so good, I wanna know what you're waiting for. 'Cause baby, let's go, we can live like the radio. And all of these stars, they can fill up the stadiums. Baby, let's go, we can live like the radio. And all of these stars, they can fill up the stadium.
Okay, so I feel like that song is like good for your fan, like your fan base age that you're targeting.
I guess I didn't really think about that when I was putting together. But yeah, kind of, because a lot of them are coming from the YouTube scene, like a lot of that is
something they need to hear and like realize.
Yeah, no, for real. And I guess maybe because the album version originally, like since it was just, you know, one track on this big album, it wasn't, I feel like most people probably didn't really dig that deep into it, but because I've been doing these acoustic singles now, I've been able to kind of tell the backstory of the songs and like, you know, get into the lyrics more. And so, yeah, I haven't really thought about that, but yeah, a lot of these people that are listening to it probably are around that age where a lot of them probably do look up to, you know, these people that are, and, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say like, don't listen to artists that sing about, you know, committing suicide or something, because like there's stories to tell that are important stories to tell. It's kind of just the message of, you know that just because a celebrity is singing about it doesn't mean that you should want to do that.
Do it, yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I feel like I'm at a high school giving like one of those like
you should.
No, that's not really what I want to do.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna like recommend you.
No, the thing is like I have other songs where I totally am a hypocrite and I like am like singing about, you know, demons that I have and stuff. So like I'm not immune to it at all. Like it's not even like, it's not supposed to be saying anything about like artists don't sing about this stuff. It's kind of just
be aware.
It's more just a commentary on how our society is. There's not really a solution to it. It's just like, that is just something I've kind of, I don't know, that's just been on my mind for a long time. And like, it's probably not really going to change, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just thought about it and wanted to put it into a song, I guess.
Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of pop music, so I don't feel like I experience like
it's probably different
that as much.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's probably bigger in the pop world. There's a lot of that, like, you know, the emo pop's making a big comeback, and I grew up on a lot of that, like emo pop punk kind of music, and it's like. Like I wasn't an emo kid, but I sure thought I was. Like I'm sitting in my room, like singing, like I'm sorry I can't be perfect, like that Simple Plan song.
I loved some Simple.
I know, and that was like my favorite song. And
honestly, my grandma bought me that CD.
It's
loved it.
It's songs about like your dad not like being proud of you, and my dad's probably in the other room, like, what is he listening to?
Why is he listening to this song on repeat?
Does he think that like we don't love him? They're like, I thought I was this angsty kid because it was cool.
That's cool.
I grew my hair out and got like the swoopy, like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I don't know if you dug deep enough to find those pictures, but I had the emo kid hair for sure.
Yikes. I think everyone did that age growing up.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the background on one more song.
Okay, yeah. So another one that also just came out. This song is called Bipolar, and this one is about kind of the ups and downs of trying to pursue a career in, you know, music or any artistic creative field, I guess, and always thinking in today's age, like it's so easy to get obsessed with like follower counts and am I making the right connections? Did I make a good impression on this person? Like, am I friends with the right crowd so I can, you know, get discovered and stuff? And like, it's kind of how that stuff can wear on you and really make you not like what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And so the song is kind of like, the main hook is, I can't hate myself if I love you, and you being like the actual act of creating music, like just making music because you love doing it. So it's like kind of the point of the song is, as long as I remember that I actually, you know, why I got into this, because I like creating, because I like making music, then it's gonna be okay. Like I can, you know, the other stuff will work itself out. Like if I'm in this for the right reasons, I'll be okay in the end.
Cool.
So yeah, the song is called Bipolar.
The story by F. Scott Fitzgerald. His hero was a broken man. He built his home on gold and marble, but it felt like sand. But it felt like sand. My mama says that I'm bipolar, but I don't hear what's in my head. I've seen a lot as I get older, but I'm not dead. But I'm not dead. No, I can't hate myself when I love you. No, I can't hate myself when I love you.
Did you write that one alone, or did you co-write that one?
That one actually. So that song started as a co-write. This was like one of the few that did come out of a random session. Like me and my good friend Klaus Lukes, we were just like, this is like probably 3 or 4 years ago, and he just came up with this kind of guitar riff, basically a chord progression, because like it's not a riff that it made in the song. And then like it was just a voice memo of that and a little vocal melody, and then like 2 years down the road, I randomly stumbled upon it and like it got stuck in my head, and then I just wrote it a song. And it's funny. So he actually played, like I did like a round recently when I asked him to play guitar for it, because I was like, a lot of these songs do have guitar like accompanying the piano, so it'd be cool to do that. And he didn't remember. I was like, by the way, you co-wrote this kind of, and he was like, oh, I did.
He's like, it's my song?
He's like, oh, it's like, yeah, man, you got a credit on it. And he's like, cool. What are the chords? But like, yeah, so it was a co-write in like a roundabout way, I suppose.
So you finished it alone, though.
Yeah, finished it alone. But I mean, if like you heard at the end, there's like kind of a weird like chord progression change. Like it's kind of like that was all him. Like he, you know, in that voice memo came up with that and stuff. So definitely, you know, built off of that and turned into what it is now.
Cool.
And that was another one that there was like a full version on the original album that's like very EDM pop, like completely different vibe. Like I know, I'm sure if you listen to that right now, you're like, that's the same song. Like it would. You
wouldn't feel like it was the same song.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna like the stripped down versions better.
Yeah, I'm coming to realize that I like the stripped down versions better too.
Really?
Which now I'm like, what does that say for my direction going forward?
Yeah.
It's like I think I'm like, I might keep doing this kind of.
But it's cool you can do both.
I might try to do that. I might do this thing where, you know, I release the songs the way that I imagine them fully produced, and then I do acoustic versions like right after. I mean, there's a lot of artists that already do that.
Right.
And so I might make that, you know, just a kind of a regular thing. And yeah, because there's obviously people that prefer either ones, and they do different things. Like if you listen to like even that first song we did, the full version of that is much more like it's like I don't even know how to describe. It's almost got like an old Lorde instrumental, like something that, like from one of her first album. Okay. So it's like really minimalistic with big drums and like weird synths and stuff. Like it, totally different vibe. Then all of a sudden, the piano versions all sounds this like sweet innocent piano song. Not like that at all. And actually on the original version, I'm not even the lead singer. So I do have a couple songs in the album where I feature.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that one was actually featuring this girl Bailey Joe, who's a Nashville artist, and yeah, so that's a totally different vibe then too, because like coming from a female voice and then to a male voice was a different, you know, perspective for sure. Yeah, you wouldn't know it was the same song, I guess, unless you're really paying attention.
Yeah, you really wouldn't know. That's so cool. Okay, we're gonna finish off with off the record confessions. So you need to confess something weird or embarrassing. Oh man. And it's off the record, but it's on the record.
Yeah, how does that?
So don't get that confused.
So I can't come back and like, you said this was off the record.
Yeah, right. It's really on the record, but off the record confessions.
Okay, well you go first.
Oh no.
I need to hear like what kind of like how juicy are these? I don't have that many juicy things.
I'm sure you do.
Not that I actually want to share.
See? Well, I confess every single week, twice a week.
Oh, okay.
So they've gotten worse. Like, they started off really strong because I had a lot built up, and then they got like worse. And I haven't drank in like 2-3 weeks almost.
Really?
So I don't have anything that's like happened recently. Cause
I thought that was your confession.
That could be my confession. Most of my confessions come from me drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like being dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But
now that you said that, I was like, shit, I could probably come up with some bad drunk stories that I probably don't want to tell.
Yeah. See, yeah. I mean, usually I'm like, well, shoot, I better get drunk because I need a confession this week. Whoops.
That's the reason you go out now.
Gotta go get some content.
Oh, you sound like a vlogger, like a YouTuber in the making. Like,
Here, this is my confession. For the longest time, I thought it was a vlogger. I thought it was a vlogger. I was like, look at this vlog.
They're logging V's.
Which I think I should do it now and call it a
vlog.
vlog.
Hey guys, this is the Inside of Noize vlog.
Vlog. We're like, no.
Oh no.
I really thought it was that.
That's awesome.
Oh, not a good thing.
Let's see. I mean, I guess this is, I don't know if you call it confession, but it's definitely weird. When I was like 10 years old, I got kicked by an ostrich on my grandparents' farm.
Your grandparents had ostriches?
My grandparents had random exotic animals on their farm, including peacocks.
Were they rich?
No, I mean
rich people have exotic animals.
No, they were farmers. Like I mean, they.
I'm imagining like zebras and lions.
No. They didn't have a safari. They just.
Okay, I'm like, holy cow, you had a zoo.
Nebraska's got some weird stuff. No one has ever said that. Like, while I brought that up before, but I guess I see why it would make sense that like they would think, are they just like rich and they have like toys like ostriches?
That's what I figured.
No, they just happen to have animals. Like, they ran their farm. Like, they had cattle and stuff, too. But
okay.
I think it was just for fun for, like, the grandkids.
Did you grow up, like, as, like, on a farm?
No. So, I lived in Michigan up until I moved here. Yeah. So, but my grandparents are from Nebraska. My dad lived there. But he was an engineer, and he moved here before I was born. Or moved to Michigan before I was born.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm as far from a farmer as you can get.
Oh, I wasn't going to put you as a farmer, but you were really gonna surprise me if you told me you were.
If I told you how good I was with like,
I was gonna be like, holy smokes.
Yeah, no, I'm not me. As noted by me sneaking into the ostrich pen with this video camera that I got, the same one that I made that music video.
Did you put it on YouTube?
No, I deleted it because I didn't want to get in trouble. I know, and looking back on it, I'm such an idiot. Like, my little brothers were there, and they're probably scarred because I didn't really see it happen because I was up in this ostrich's face with my camera, being an idiot. I had no idea that, like, they were super territorial. Like, I was just a dumb kid, like, thinking, like, I was going to make this documentary about my grandparents' farm or something. And so I'm, like, next thing I know, I'm on the ground. He's stomping all around, and, like, he blew me back, like, 5 feet. And I'm just, like, looked at my brothers. I was like, run! And so, like, I dropped the camera, got the hell out of there. I made them go back and get the camera later.
You made them because you were scared?
No,
I'm not going back by that thing.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, we waited till the ostrich was like on the other side, but
dang,
yeah.
Why would you have an ostrich then?
I don't know why they had it. I mean, it was like if you weren't irresponsible about it, like, I mean, it was a cool thing for the grandparents to like show the grandkids. Like, if you're
That's an expensive thing to show the grandkids.
I don't think they're as expensive as you think they are.
Maybe not. Maybe just graze.
I don't really know. Now that I've never considered that.
Horses are expensive.
I guess
and ostriches are big.
Too. I mean, I guess it had to have cost money. I don't know. I mean, they weren't like poor, I guess. But no,
sorry, I'm asking you about your grandparents.
No, I never thought about this before. Like, I mean, I guess they're doing okay. I'm not gonna get like a crazy inheritance or something when they die.
You might get the ostrich.
I'm gonna get the ostrich. That's right. I'm like, no.
That's the one thing I didn't want.
That's the one thing I didn't want. No, they know this. They've heard it. I waited a couple of years to tell them, so I wouldn't get in trouble. But they definitely have heard about it since.
Oh no. Okay. Well, we're gonna end on that story. Where can everyone follow you, find you?
Yeah. So I mean, search Ben Schuller anywhere on the internet, but Instagram at Hey Ben Schuller. My YouTube channel is just called Ben Schuller Music. Nerd Out is the name of the other channel that makes songs about pop culture and stuff. And yeah, pretty much all over the internet.
All over the internet. Cool. And you can find us at Inside the Noise with a Z.
With a Z.
With a Z. I feel like a Disney Channel star. You know the names of the ones.
Now you got the video camera over there.
I always do it
use that.
with a Z. Yeah. And
Thanks
that's
for
it.
having me. Yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
This was fun.
Was it?
That's cool. Yeah.
Okay.